Welcome to The Journey, where we talk to parents of athletes on how they got their kids to where they are. I'm here with one of the most energetic coaches I know. He's raised some amazing children and some of the best shooters I know, Coach Ivan Keene. So my first question for you is, when did you fall in love with basketball?
I fell in love with basketball when I started playing baseball, probably when I was about 13 years old. Baseball was my first love, and then all my best friends was playing basketball. So for me, I started playing basketball then. Try to follow in the footsteps of my father. Bless his heart, he's resting in heaven right now. He was one of the best players in the city where I'm from, in Virginia. But I fell in love about 13. I realized that I didn't have transportation to continue to play baseball, so basketball was the next best thing, and all my best friends were playing basketball.
Okay, so tell me more about you and your kids.
I have a total of 6 kids. 3 of the boys, they all play basketball. One of them just happened to went a little bit further than the other ones. I have another one in high school. He's at one of the most predominant schools in the city, and he's finding it tough to get minutes, but he's behind some well and talented players. So, but yeah, all my kids really play sports, but my oldest one, Marcus, has blossomed the most. I did have a daughter who played volleyball in college too. So, and I'm thankful and I'm blessed. So,
What did it look like for your kids in elementary school?
in elementary school, it was more like a journey for the sports part. I knew my first love, Marcus, I knew he was going to be a sports person. I just didn't know which one. The other ones, the other kids, all played sports, but they really didn't have like a love for it, kind of, sort of. But they all were pretty consistently, and they played sports too. And they played all the sports, right? From football, flag football, to real football, volleyball, and soccer. So those were the ones that we concentrated on. Baseball, not so much. They tried baseball, but for the most part, they was in soccer and basketball, and then volleyball.
Okay, so everyone always talks about trusting the process. So what did the process look for starting them out?
The journey is different, right? I'll take example for the boys. The journey for the boys, especially in basketball, it was demanding from me. They learned to adapt to my behavior because I realized that I didn't get some of the training that I'm giving my kids. So when I'm out there working, they better be working. So when I'm trying to push them to reach their maximum potential and to go as far as they can go. But I will not say you're doing something and you're not doing it. I don't believe in that. I feel you put in the work and you get rewarded. Everybody has their own journey, and you have to follow that journey, but you have to be responsible enough to put in that work to make sure whatever happens for you, that you can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, this is what I did. Didn't work out, but you can be proud of yourself. So,
Would you consider yourself a helicopter parent?
a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When you could say helicopter parent, I think of it as, yes, I'm looking over them, right? And I'm hovering over them to make sure that they're doing the things that they need to do to be successful. No cheating in the process, any of that stuff. So that's what I consider a helicopter parent. Hopefully that in itself, but I hover over them. I do probably talk a little too much sometimes, but I always told my kids that you would never say that your father wasn't there to provide you with the good answers to move forward so you can be successful. So, yeah, I'll probably say, helicopter parent.
Were your kids naturally good when they started, or was it a process?
It was a process. I will say for Marcus, I knew something was going to be a little different. When he started walking, he was able to, eye-and-hand coordination as far as dribbling a basketball was a little different. I thought that was kind of special, even when he kicked the soccer ball around the house. So I think that was a little different. The rest of the kids, they were they were good. I knew they were good, but there was just something about one of them that just stood out the most, right? So I thought, yeah, as far as elementary, I thought they were pretty good. I knew they could be successful, right? My youngest son, he was a preemie baby, so I'm kind of protective, like as far as his development, because I knew sometimes his development, he's always been smaller. So for me, it was more like, okay, yeah, he's going to have to really work a little bit harder than his older siblings did.
When you started your kids in sports, did you have any specific goals in mind for them?
I wanted them to get to college. So I thought, in a way, Marcus was able to go on to college. His sister was able to go on to college for volleyball. Now I'm trying to get out my youngest son. I had two other kids went on to the military. But the goal was to get them to college. Their hard work, all the hours that they put in, hopefully it would pay off. And for me, college is Division I, Division II, Division III. Something will allow them to help pay for costs. And then also for them to enjoy the journey, right? The journey was, they started when they was in elementary school doing a sport. Then they started specializing. And then the reward for me is getting them to college. And then they can continue to play another 4 years. The professional part, that's just another part of it. But for me, it was just looking at them grow from elementary through on and on and on, that journey itself.
Did they travel at all?
Yes, when they got older. When Marcus did some traveling, like on the AAU circuit, my youngest son did some AAU circuit. At one time, Marcus and my other son, Narki, we were all on a little traveling team when I had my own little team and stuff. So we used to travel, but we was local. Local, and I mean local was Texas. Now that, my youngest son, he gets an opportunity like Marcus did to be able to travel from state to state. But my whole concept with them was, if we can play with the kids from Dallas and Houston, we can play with any kids in the country. So,
how often did your kids train or get in the gym?
With me, before they started getting mad with me, pretty much 3 to 4 times a week during the week, and then on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. At one point in my life, I was a divorced father, so me and Marcus was together. So it was very challenging because I used to get him in the gym a lot. Every basketball camp that I used to do, I took him with me and stuff. So the process is now, because the athletes are so talented, at a minimum, it's 4 to 5 days a week. And now with other things going on for us, weightlifting and all that extra stuff that athletes have to put in just to be competitive. So at a minimum, it was 4 to 5 times a week.
Did you force them to play?
Sometimes if they found a reason not to give their best. So that's what I mean forcing, right? And I don't want them to take the easy road, right? I want them to take the road that is going to be tough. And if they decide to say didn't want to do it, then we have issues, right? I had issues with, you ain't quitting on me, right? If you start it, you're going to finish it. So on occasion, I did kind of force them, but I realized this is not the toughest thing they're going to ever do in life. Basketball is just one of those things that, I love doing. I love coaching. I love refereeing. Everything about the game I like. And if you're going to play it, we're going to play it the right way. And quitting because somebody knocked you down, or somebody block your shot, or something like, oh, you don't want to go to practice today, that's not in my DNA. So it's like, no, you won't go. So yeah.
Were there any promises that weren't kept by any outsiders?
I think Marcus was I didn't receive any promises from like coaches and stuff. I was a little new to it. Everybody doubted Marcus when he was in AAU ball. People doubted his size. So nobody really came recruiting hard for him. They might have said something, but not like what I see. I like to praise you and your brother. Like, you guys get letters from like everywhere. Marcus wasn't lucky enough to be offered like that. So we didn't really get any promises. He didn't get any promises as far as like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this or I'm gonna give you that. And then Trey, he's just younger. He realized that he's up against some stiff competition. So it's very tough. So no.
So early on, did you care about winning and losing?
Don't get me wrong. Now I want to win, right? What I care about is kids developing. For those who know me as a coach, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So I'm going to take the same amount of time that I would do with the star player as also what I would do with a lesser player. That's always been my philosophy. And I take pride in that. You know, if I see a kid struggling, I want them to be successful too. You know, I also want them to dribble the ball, right? Because there's parents out there who want to see their kids do something that they might not get a chance to do. So for me, every kid is the same. When it comes to winning and losing, I want to win, right? And I coach hard, and I coach kids hard, right? So I want them to be successful. And every kid I look at is the same. I don't care who it is, whether it's my sons, your kids, anybody's kid. If they come in the gym, I'm going to coach them hard. But I'm going to be fair about it too. So I take pride in that.
Okay, for my last question, if you could tell the parents of elementary school students one thing, what would it be?
Trust the process. And what I mean by trusting the process is every kid has a journey, and you have to find out their limitations. I realize with Marcus, Nike, and Trey, they're all different, right? So I can't tell Trey, I want you to do something like your older brother did, or your older brothers, right? I want you to be the best version of yourself, right? If you be the best version of yourself when you look in the mirror, you're going to be proud as heck. I don't want you to be something that you're not, right? So take pride in what you do, go over it, but develop your game, and then be proud of it. And then when you look back 10, 15 years from now, you can say, you know what, I put forth my best effort. And that's all you can do. You know, trust the process, trust in the man above, and it is what it is, right? You know, your success comes from the hard work that you put in. And you can look in the mirror and you can say you're proud. But I'm gonna be there to make sure I know that you did the best you can do. And as a parent, that's all you can do.
Thank you for joining me on his journey. Stay tuned for the next episode where we talk about middle school.